Like the brass instruments, string instruments are divided into three groups: the lutes, harps, and zithers. In order for a string instrument to produce sound, its string or strings must vibrate. There are two common ways of bringing this about. Instruments such as the guitar and the kora are plucked, either by a thumb or a finger, or some other device such as the plectrum. Let's see how this guy plays his guitar. While instruments such as the cello and the rebec are usually played by drawing a bow across its strings. Here's an example of how the violin is played. Less commonly, the strings are agitated by other means. For example, the player of this hammered dulcimer strikes its strings with handheld hammers. Some string instruments have keyboards attached, which are manipulated by the player, meaning he does not have to pay attention to the strings directly. Perhaps the most common example is the piano, where felt hammers are made to strike the strings when the keys are depressed. A vibrating string on its own makes a very quiet sound, so string instruments are usually constructed in such a way that these sounds are amplified, either by a hollow chamber, a solid surface, or both. On a violin, for example, taut strings pass over the bridge, resting on a hollow box. The strings' vibrations are distributed via the bridge to all surfaces of the instrument, and thus amplified. The frequency, wavelength, or pitch of the sound depends on some factors, like the composition of the string, its thickness, its length, and how tightly it is strung between the posts. The frequency of a vibrating string is relatively pure. In other words, it primarily consists of only one frequency. This fact is used in tuning the musical instrument. By adjusting the tension of the wire, the frequency is slightly changed until it is set in the exact pitch. A single string of a constant tension will only produce one note. So, to obtain further notes, string instruments employ two methods. Some instruments have more than one string. In the case of the harp or the piano, for example, this is the only way in which extra notes are obtained. With instruments such as the guitar and the violin, the player may press down on the string by their fingers or some devices in order to effectively shorten the string in which it vibrates.